What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
Guys, we are joined by a very, very special guest, the man that will be taking on who is considered, quote-unquote, pound for pound. My man, Super Middleweight, WBA #1 contender, and his man is looking to shock the world. September, Mexican Independence Day in Las Vegas, Nevada. My man, EDGAR Berlanga.
A Shadowline production.
My man, I wanted to give you all, but I would have kept going forever. You know, all the way from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Puerto Rico. You know, it's going to be a big and a special event because it's of course there's always been that rivalry, that Mexico, that Puerto Rico rivalry, and this is kind of the forthcoming of it. This is your opportunity now to stamp your name in the mix of that. You know, there's been legendary fights before, but now this is your time. So September 14th, I believe, September 14th.
Yes, sir.
Live at the T-Mobile Arena, which is a beautiful arena. Henry has fought there. I have fought there myself. Live at the T-Mobile Arena, you are looking to shock the world, EDGAR.
Sir.
Let us know. What are we expecting? What should we expect? What do the people expect from EDGAR?
September 14th, man, you know, the people should be expecting fireworks. You know, it's going to be a big event. That day, you know, it's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Yeah, man, fireworks. You know, we coming to fight. And like I said before, you know, we don't got nothing, you know. So now is like my time to really stamp my name in the sport of boxing, you know, and put my name up there with the top dogs and, you know, and be the legend, man, and become a legend myself. And, you know, right now I got the opportunity, you know, a lot of fighters fight, you know, their first title shot, and they only get their first title shot for one belt, but we actually getting my first title shot is for 3 belts. Could have been for all 4, you know, and that's history right there. You know, I don't think there's a fighter that has ever fought their first title fight for all 3 belts, you know, versus a legend. You know, so just right there alone is just history, man.
Absolutely. And reading up on your career, just kind of your rise to get there, it's you've had a pretty much storied career as far as even, and you hear you talk a little bit about your purses, how the purses have increased over time, and I feel I'm like, yeah, that's about right, because that's kind of how mine went. First fight, you're making $1,000, and then the purses start to jump up and jump up and jump up until where you are placed in a position like you are now. And like you mentioned, not a lot of people get the opportunity to fight for, especially in boxing, to fight for all those belts, unified belts like that. But those belts are being put up, and you have an opportunity to go out there and take all those belts. I feel like a lot of people are kind of, because we all know how great Canelo is. We all know how great Canelo has been. But I feel like a lot of people are kind of overlooking you here and going, oh, it's just another opponent that Canelo picked. Because maybe they saw highlights of previous fights of yours where you might have been touched a few times. I mean, it is boxing. You are going to get hit, to where people are going, yeah, you know, they're not really giving you that opportunity, when what really matters is the heart of the man when you step in there and you really getting the chance to show your skills.
Of course, 1,000%. You know, and looking back at that, right? You know, I know they be pointing up like, you know, all those, you know, when I tore my bicep and stuff. You know, people don't understand that a fight like that, when I got dropped, I fought the last 7 rounds with a torn bicep. You know, and I beat the dude's ass. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but it's just, you know, it's just people just hating, man. Like people rather sit there and hate on you for your success than actually applaud you, you know, and that's just life. That's how it is, you know. And people don't really understand my story. You know, people probably think because, you know, I'm flashy and all this stuff, but you know, I never came. We never came with you know, I never had a silver spoon in my mouth. You know, when I turned pro, you know, my first pro 3 fights was in Mexico. You know, fighting for $1,000, and no promoter wanted to sign me. You know, we reached out to promotions; they was not interested at all, and you know, I had to sign with a local New York promotion, and to get my name buzzing, you know. And then I was like, I got to start like knocking people out, you know. And I just started. That's when I went on that rampage, and I was just knocking people out, you know, in the first round. And that's when I woke up the whole world, the boxing world, and that's when like all the big promoters started reaching out to me because they seen success. So right now I feel like I'm in the same position right now. Everybody's doubting me, everybody don't believe in me. But I just got to shock the world September 14th, man. That's the only thing that's on my mind right now. Is being great that night for 36 minutes.
Yeah, and I think Edgar, when you see this fight, man, obviously Canelo, there's a lot of tape out there, man. And I feel like you are the bigger super middleweight at 168 pounds. You're a big dude. And I go back and I watched that fight when Canelo fought Jaime Munguia. And those in that first round, Jaime Munguia had that right game plan. The long
Yeah.
punches, putting the pressure on. The same reason how is it that Bivol ended up being a guy like Canelo? Straight punches, putting the pressure on. I mean, when you see a guy like Canelo, you see obviously he's been a lot of great people, but there's also a lot of tape on him. How do you break
hmm
a dude down like that?
I mean, with him, I got all the attributes, you know, and better. What I'm saying, that what Bivol has and all these guys. I just got to follow the game plan we got. Like you said, he's been beaten before. It's not like he has an O on his record and he's never been touched or never been beaten. That guy's been beaten numerous times. You know what I'm saying? Even if fights that was close that went to the other guy, you know, was there's fights out there that he did lose, and they still gave it to him because obviously he's the bigger draw. But you know, I, he has a problem with a great jab, and bigger guys, that like what you said, that throw straight punches, and that keeps the distance on him. You know what I'm saying? And I think Munguia fought a great fight until I feel like he got tired, and he started like really like lunging in and standing like going like he's the guy that's 6'1" and he went down to 5'7", and took his height off on him and let him bang him up and stuff. But if Munguia had the right IQ for that fight, Munguia could have beat him easy.
Yeah.
He had the same attribute. He's big. He throws a lot of punches. He could take a punch. He just lacked the IQ of just keeping Canelo from the outside.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I watched that fight with Bivol, and obviously there's Mayweather, but he was still super young. But when I see the last time that he did lose, it was against Bivol, and it was pressure, and it was pretty much getting bullied. The dude didn't allow Canelo to set. He had him going back, so I think that was like a big key. But we spoke to Canelo and we asked Canelo, why Edgar? He's just like, well, he goes back to the Puerto Rican Mexican rivalry. That's something that really kind of came to mind for him. But he's also like, you know what? This kid amped something in me that I've been wanting to do to somebody for a very, very long time. I mean, the dude's talking about, and we've said it, we've heard in the press conference, I'm just repeating
Yeah.
what was said. And obviously, we had an interview with Canelo himself and he's talking about breaking you down and then getting rid of you within the eighth. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you answer that, bro? Like, is that like obviously you were probably at one point a fan of Canelo, but then now rivals become legends or you're a fan, but now he's officially a rival.
Idols become rivals. Yeah. He never had compassion for me. You know what I'm saying? Since the time we started, we signed the contract. You know, one thing for sure, I'm Puerto Rican, and you know how that rivalry goes. You never seen a Mexican have compassion or for a Puerto Rican or a Puerto Rican have compassion for Mexican. This is history right here. And we're gonna do the same to him. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break him down. You know, he he's saying that, and it's crazy how he could say and sit there and say he has compassion for fighters. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's weird. That's weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we like you guys are UFC fighters. You don't go in there and say, hey, champ up there, I'm fighting this guy. I'm gonna have compassion for him. I'm gonna be nice with him. Motherfucker, these guys are going in here trying to kill you, bro. You could die in that ring. That's why I don't. That's why there's no respect. At the end of the day, we gotta fight. We gotta fight September 14th. And that's why I told them during the press conference, like, there's no respect, bro. A lot of people respect you, cool. I'm not them though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tuck my tail that night. You know what I'm saying? We going out there for war. And obviously to win too. So with him saying compassion, all these guys, I don't believe in that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's either you're gonna do it or not. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are UFC fighters. You
Right.
guys are fucking elbowing people, headbutting people, kneeing people. You're not gonna go in there and be like, hey, I got compassion for this guy. I'm gonna let him hit me with fucking 10 elbows, and I hit him with a fucking uppercut, and, you know, it's cool. Nah, hell no, man. Like, you can't do that, you know?
Right now, and you made a good point, and it's one thing that I kind of want to ask is because when you're coming up, obviously your name, obviously Canelo is Canelo. Everyone knows who Canelo, and Canelo brings such a big shadow when he comes into fights. Now you are still on the rise, and obviously you've made a name for yourself to get to this place, but it's not been the exact same. So I want to know for you, because signing a fight like this, how are you handling? How are you handling the new? Obviously, the media attention is going to be completely different than
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you've been used to, and staying just kind of in where you need to be in the right frame of mind to where you don't let this get too big for you, because that is a thing. Some people, they let that moment get too big for them, so then when they get in
Yeah.
there, like you just mentioned, they start having compassion for Canelo, and then Canelo just starts breaking them down.
Like with me, right? You know, obviously, like, you know, we've been having a lot of media attention, you know, and now we know, like, now it's time to, like, shut it off, shut it down, you know. Like, the fight is already sold, you know, that's it. There's nothing more we could do. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if I go in there and I lose, all this shit's going to go out the window, you know. So my main focus right now is to win, because when we win, everything else is gonna open up for us. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm used to having cameras in my face. I'm used to the, you know, attention and stuff. But it's also about just being focused and locking in. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that, yeah, that, you know, there's a time where, you know, you could record and, you know, do your podcast and do Zooms and stuff. But then there's also a time where you gotta lock in and really, you know what I'm saying, and get the focus. Because at the end of the day, this is the biggest fight of my life. You know, and we're not taking this guy lightly. Another thing, it was another question you had asked. You said in the beginning, I forgot what
Yeah,
you said.
because obviously, Canelo comes with that big name, and for you, it's almost like show and prove.
Yeah, yeah,
People didn't really want to take take that chance with you. Oh, nah, we
yeah.
don't, not
And like,
interested.
and people expect me. Listen, we got our back against the wall, right? First of all, people are saying that I'm gonna get knocked out. People are saying this, and for me to come in and what you want me to say, when you want me to come in and say, oh, you know, yeah, Canelo's gonna he's gonna put me out in the fifth round. It's gonna go to distance. Nah, fuck that, man. I'm a fighter, bro. You know, I'm not gonna let no man. I don't care who he is at this point. I don't care like who he is or he's Canelo Alvarez. There's a guy I'm facing September 14th. There's a guy that's taking food off my table. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm a fighter, bro. You know, and like I said before, we don't respect the big homies. You know what I'm saying? He's the big homie at 168, but we don't respect big homies where we from. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Like at the end of the day, you know, it's all about the mental. You know what I'm saying? And being mentally, but besides physical, you know, it's being mentally prepared for this moment. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I've been asking for this moment, and just bringing, you know what I'm saying, just talking about it, and you know, kept talking about his name for years. And you know, we got the opportunity now, so it's like I'm more than ready mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done foreseeing everything that went on. Now that's what's going on. I've seen it play out years ago, you know, and that's why me doing the press tour, like everybody say, like, damn, you look so calm. You look like, you know, you at peace. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't look nervous. You don't look like when you at the press conference, you was just so relaxed. You know, a lot of guys, you know, you start seeing like fear in their eyes when they step in front of him and shit. You know, they just start acting different. I'm just me. I'm just being me, bro. Like I seen this shit play out, you know, years ago. You know, so I just gotta embrace the moment and take advantage of it, and you know, and just make the best of it, and go for the W, man. September 14th.
Yeah, well, Edgar, what is the difference? Obviously, everybody has tried. A lot of people have tried to beat Canelo, and obviously, there's only two. There's only been two guys to really defeat him. Not a lot of people are giving you a shot, bro. I think you know that, man. I'm curious to see what the, what the betting odds are. But that being said, what makes Edgar Berlanga different than anybody else? Is it your youth? Is it your mind? Is it your technique, your tactics? What's different with you that Canelo has not seen?
Yeah, I always said this, right? That like, you know, I'm a different like the fighter you see. My last fight is not who I'm gonna be September 14th. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting better and better. I'm like a sponge. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to say that my last opponent he's nowhere near Canelo's, you know, IQ or status or whatnot. But the guy, my last opponent, right? They watch like day in and day out videos of me Like the coaches are studying every fucking video of me, right? And they had me down to a T, right? And I go in there and I'm a sponge, and I'm getting better and better and better and better. And when we knocked him out, the coach was like, damn, like, you guys did a miracle or something? And we was like, miracle? What you mean we did a miracle? He's like, cause everything you did, we didn't expect none of that shit. You get what I'm saying? And it was like, nah, bro, like, that's those fights that you see me before, man, that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting better and better each and every time. And the better the opposition, the better I become. I always been like that. I don't know if you guys are like that. You guys are fighters. You know how like you stepping in with a guy that's like at the level you are, probably above you, and it's like everything starts to spark up, like your IQ winds up. You start doing shit in there that you never thought you could do, or things that you said I could do, and you
Yeah,
haven't done it. But the guy that has a better accolade than you, that better IQ, better everything than you, and he just brings the fucking best out of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's gonna happen September 14th.
absolutely. I think it's rising to the occasion. It's when
And I'm
you
talking, and I'm here talking with y'all, and I'm doing all this. Like, I can't. It's impossible for me to go in there and tuck my tail.
facts. No, I get it.
I just gotta. Most important thing is just being focused and just just being locked in. You know what I'm saying? And like just grab the media, the people, the fans, the 18,000, 19,000 people that's gonna be there, and just block them out. You know what I'm saying? And just put on them the horses that have the blinders on, the binders, and just wear that shit, bro, and just zone out and just focus on Canelo that night. You know what I'm saying?
big facts, and you mentioned being locked in, and yes, of course, this fight bases a humongous fight happening September 14th, Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. But for you, one thing that I want to touch on a little bit is like reading up, just learning more and more about you, and reading up on your story a little bit and how you kind of got your start in boxing, and your family. It seemed that your father brought you into the sport of boxing and
Yeah,
getting you in, and it seemed like your father had moments in and out of your life that kind of, your boxing seemed like it wavered for you a little bit, your love and your
yeah,
passion for boxing. But I want you to just talk a little bit about just how instrumental just your father's role played in your life, played a big part of getting you, as you say, locked in boxing to ultimately lead you to this point right here.
yeah. Definitely 100%. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I feel like I need it. God, definitely, you know, made him my father for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, like he's one of those fathers that he was on top of me. And coming from New York, right? New York is a place where they call it the concrete jungle. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? And growing up as a kid, I come from the projects, right? So there's a whole bunch of kids in the projects that's going out there, that's doing bad things, going to school, saying they're gonna be a basketball player, and then they wind up doing something else, or just becoming a regular, Joe Smokes. But with me, it was like my dad always took me to the gym. Like even when I didn't want to, he knew I loved boxing, but I just wanted to be a kid. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to go out there and just be a kid. Play at open up the pump. They used to open up the pump. Ice cream truck used to come. You know what I'm saying? Kids was having water balloon fights. It was in the streets outside. I couldn't do that. I had to go to the boxing gym. But my dad always kept me in the gym. Kept me in the gym. Even when he went away, you know, for half of the time that I was, that I've been boxing, he's always been, I was on the jail calls with him, like, yo, like, always making sure, like, I was, begging me, like, please go to the gym, like, how you doing in school? Like, please go to the gym, like, don't stop going to the gym, because there was a point at a certain time when he was away, I started, like, going into, hanging out outside, fighting in the streets and stuff, trying to miss days in the gym, and I started playing basketball and everything, so, but he was always on top of me, even him being in prison, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like more like God's plan, he came home from doing his second bid. I was like, he came home a different person, you know what I'm saying? Like, he came home being a strength and conditioning coach. Never thought he would do that. He started studying the body. He started, understanding what, like vitamins, like he just came out a different person. And it was for the sake of me, to take me to that next level. And when he came home, 15, 16 years old, when I was 15, he was like, boom, that's it. I came home and he just deaded everything for me. He was like, yo, basketball is done. This is done. You're going to focus on boxing. And this is what we're doing. And at that time, I'm 15, 16. I already had a clue of like me turning pro and me possibly becoming like somebody big and represent Puerto Rico and stuff. So I kind of knew already. Like I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna like mess around or anything. I'm gonna just take this shit serious.
Right, right.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing, Edgar, for you is if you were to beat a guy like Canelo, this becomes probably. I mean, we're talking about the Mike Tyson Buster Douglas. That's because that's how big this fight could be if you do get the victory. You beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez. There's a couple guys that I see that would be really fun matches. 'Cause right now, yeah, we all know that. There's some things going on with Team Canelo and Team Benavidez. But talking about Benavidez, there's a fight. There's a potential fight with him and obviously your other rival, Caleb Platt, man. You beat Canelo. Who do you take after you beat Canelo? Or do you even give him a rematch?
Yeah, we're gonna have. Yeah, it's on the clause. So we beat him September 14th. We definitely gonna have to give him a rematch next year. And that's that. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? That's another bag right there. But another guy's on the radar for us. Is Munguía. He's a great champion. And he's Mexican too, so that's another big rivalry right there. You got Benavidez too. That he's very popular. He's doing his thing. He went up at 175, but he could come back down. But after Canelo, I think the next biggest fight, like big fight, is Munguia. I think that's another big Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry too. He's a true Mexican and he's a true champion too. So that's there's probably like 2-3 big fights at 168. That could be a mega fight.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break from Edgar Berlanga to thank our partners at Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play fantasy sports. There's no UFC fights this weekend, guys, so we have a special offer for you. Football season is back, and for all new users, Underdog Fantasy is offering $1,000 in bonus cash and a Travis Kelce free pick for week 1. This Saturday, they're dropping another free pick for Dylan Gabriel. The Oregon quarterback just needs 1 yard for you to win. I know I could pass for 1 yard in college football. So, yeah, that's an easy one for me. Their pick'em game is as easy as choosing higher or lower on a variety of stats like touchdowns, yards, and catches. Underdog is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida. Use code P4P, that's pound for pound, when you sign up to support the show. Click the link down below to get started. Now let's get back to our interview with the amazing Edgar Berlanga.
What about Caleb Plant, man? And I know you and Caleb Plant have had some things in the past, man. Is that somebody you would like to? Would you like to give him the opportunity, or is that one of the things that you'd be like, nah, man, he can sit down? I mean, how is that beef between you two?
Yeah, he could sit down. He's doing too much. Like he's just doing too much. He not because bro, he fights me, he gonna make a bag. You know what I'm saying? So now,
So you ain't
fuck him.
trying to do that. You ain't.
Yeah, so Edgar,
Make
and
the
that's
stuff
and
up.
that's and that's the Edgar, that's the thing though, is I guess it's the knock on boxing. I guess it's just kind of the knock on boxing nowadays. It's just that these different champions from the different governing body can kind of take a title and just sit on a title and not fight
Yeah,
who is
it's a lot of
considered,
politics.
yes, and not fight who is considered to be the next best guy in the division.
Yeah,
And so, like Henry mentioned in that, with a guy like Caleb Plant, I mean, obviously I think that's a fantastic fight. I think that's also another big fight for you.
yeah,
Should you get it done with Canelo Alvarez, like you mentioned earlier, that opens up the world for you. I mean, I'm hoping you've because I'm the type of person who I like to visualize the victory and everything that comes with that. So are you kind of one of those guys who's visualized yourself sitting at the Tonight Show, talking with some of those guys, doing some of these shows? Whether I know Ellen is not there anymore, but that was one show that I actually really wanted to be on. Ellen
yeah,
doing all these big shows like that. Are you one of those guys who visualize all the things that's gonna come with it?
yeah, man. You don't understand. All I hear is "and the new."
Right.
That right there is just gonna have me fucking going crazy, bro.
Edgar, you just gave me the chills, bro. Look at that. You see that?
Yo,
You see that
bro,
little fucking
it's
hair,
over.
nigga?
Yeah,
Woo!
and that's right there, man. Like once I hear that, bro, I already know. Like in my mind, everything is gonna change for me. Like my whole life, everything's gonna change, and the talk shows, this, that, sponsorship, endorsement. My phone's gonna be going off the fucking chain. But, and the first thing I'm gonna do is give God the glory, man. my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm going to give that man the glory, you know what I'm saying? Because without him, the strength that he gives me, we wouldn't make that, make that possible. I just think about it, man. Like, I'm excited, bro. Like, for 36 minutes, my coach tells me, you got to be great that night. Just for 36 minutes, I go 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds. If it goes that long, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be ready and you got to be great for 36 minutes. That's it. 36 minutes of your life for that one day, for just one day, for 36 minutes, you got to be great. And that's just on my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, meditate and I just think about it, you know what I'm saying? And I think about the fight and I think about the walkout, and I think about me in the ring and him across from me and me going through those rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be something special that night.
Right. And September 14th, you again live at the T-Mobile Arena. Now, breaking down, obviously you guys have watched a lot of film on Canelo and studied the best that you can. Breaking down Canelo, what would you say if I asked you and you had to give me, what would you say is one of Canelo's strengths? What are some of the things that you've seen breaking them down that you said are his strength, and these are the places where he really excels in the fight?
He excels a lot when when he could get right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And he could start like shooting his arm shots and, start going up the middle, start doing his sneaky uppercuts and he loves the liver shots a lot, the left hook to the body. But he accelerates more and I feel like he feeds off more when you could let him like take his space. You know what I'm saying? Like he grows as a fighter, but if we keep him from a distance, using the jab, the main thing right now is that jab, in his face for 12 rounds, you know what I'm saying? And not running, but just keeping him there, you feel me? And controlling him with the jab and shooting off shots and catching and shooting, just like what Bivol did, you know what I'm saying? The same thing. Bivol averaged like 60, 70 jabs around. And it wasn't like real jabs, like whop, whop. It was more like, I was counting just like him just throwing his jab out there, just placing it out there. It was about 60 jabs to 70 jabs around, plus whatever combos he was throwing. But yeah, his strengths are that, like once you see what he did to Munguía, once Munguía let him come in, he started just picking him apart. And that's something that we can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like he lives, that's where he lives. That's his safe zone right there. Is him coming in and finding his way in. With his head moving. Obviously, I'm the bigger guy. I'm longer. I'm stronger. So he's gonna try to look for ways to break my arms down. And just try to mentally break me down. You know what I'm saying? And try to like do certain things and use his experience over me. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta stay locked in. Like I said, it's all about just follow the game plan and just be here locked in mentally, you know what I'm saying, for 36 minutes. And I got the power to knock him out, but and I know that for a fact that when we land on him, he's gonna feel something different for sure. I guarantee you, he's gonna feel something different. It's not gonna be a shot that he said, "Oh, I felt this." He's gonna feel something different. The same way he says, it's the difference. He's walking in there like it's a kid game. You know what I'm saying? Me, I know he could punch. I know what I'm expecting. I know that I'm gonna get hit with shots, you know what I'm saying? And I fuck around and see little white flashes and stuff, but I'm already prepped for that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's boxing, it's gonna happen. You get what I'm saying? It's not like he's not gonna do no, because I'm a fighter at the end of the day, but I'm prepping my mind to take shots, but also I'm prepping my mind to give it to him. But he's not ready for that, you know what I'm saying? He's like, this dude's a fucking cakewalk, you know?
Yeah. Now, obviously, real quick, too, you've said your piece, and Canelo has really said his piece to where I feel like this has intensified to where it's. Do you feel that this has kind of become a little bit personal? I understand we got the Mexico versus Puerto Rico, and that's always a humongous rivalry. But do you feel that this has kind of got a little bit personal now?
I mean, little bit. I want to say personal, like, because at the end of the day, we fighters, So for me, in my heart, I know it's personal from right now up to September 14th. After that, it's out the window. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because Henry heard you. He said he heard what you were saying at the press conference. Habla poquito español. So Henry, he heard you.
That's why I said to be personal, because he was inviting me down there. You know what I'm saying? And I was inviting him. I was like, yeah, like eat up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I was,
you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so
Henry,
fuck
translate
it.
a little bit for us. Henry, what was some of the things that were said? Henry, you want to translate?
yeah, man. I mean, I think Edgar watches a lot of Training Day because he was talking about pushing Canelo shit in, dude.
Y'all gotta chill, man. Yo, UFC, y'all be going crazy, man. Y'all be fucking throwing bottles and everything in that
Hey,
bitch, man.
that's Henry. That's Henry. I'm a
Yo,
nice guy.
yo,
That's
Oh, they can all get it.
check it, Henry. If you look at it, in New York, I was calm. You see me in New York, right? I could have acted a fool. Like, I could have really turned it up on him. I could have pushed him. I could have fucking smacked his glasses off or something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that. I was chill. I had no shirt. You know, I was chilling in New York. When I got to LA with it was just a lot of cocky shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just too much going on. You got Caleb there. You got all these guys there sucking him off. I'm like giving him. Caleb's taking back shots from him from the fucking podium. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, dude. Like, and this dude Canelo's giving it to him too. Like, here, take it. I'm gonna hit you, doggy, Bob. Like, don't worry. You know, like, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, and there's only a couple of us. You know what I'm saying? But I'll feed off that. I'm a New Yorker, bro. We're not scared of nobody. Like I said, I don't give a fuck, bro. It was 100 of them. It was 50 of them. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Edgar, I am super stoked about this fight too, because you're really good friends with one of my with one of the guys that I looked up to, or at least I used to listen to a lot of his music. Fat Joe, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Is Fat Joe gonna come out with you to perform? Lean back, lean
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Is he coming out?
yeah.
Or
Yeah, I
what's
got it.
up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is he coming out with you, dude?
yeah, yeah, yeah. 1,000%.
But is he gonna perform?
Yeah,
he
oh, of
walk him
course.
out, but I guarantee you he's not performing lean back, Henry. That's not the only song he got. Fat Joe is hot. He's a street, New York legend. He got mad
Yeah,
songs. Like,
yeah, yeah.
hey,
Hey, Kamaru, but even Roy
see, now you
Jones is
got me.
forced to
Now
lean
you got me
back.
my New York bag now. Now you got me my New York bag, B. You know? See, Henry, now you got me my New York bag, B. Fat Joe got mad songs, man. It's not just a lean back.
Facts.
You feel
Yeah.
me? So, it doesn't matter whichever one it is. It's going to be a fantastic night. September 14th, Edgar Berlanga taking on Canelo Alvarez live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And hey, y'all going up against the UFC as well. The UFC is going on there.
Shout out to Turkey, man.
I mean, how do you anticipate that's going to be? Because it's everybody knows when the UFC comes to town, it's Vegas. That's fight capital of the world. When UFC comes to town, it's always a massive crowd. But y'all going up against the UFC. Is both events going to be able to be sold out? And how you think those pay-per-views are going to do?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, cause I got a lot of respect for the UFC. Like, and for Dana, for you guys, for the fighters, bro. Like, I respect you guys a lot, man. Like, you guys are, as like just like warriors like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys get it popping. If not way more. You know what I'm saying? Y'all throwing elbows, knees to the face. Like, I was like, God damn, I would never go in that shit. But like, if it was if I was in Canelo's shoes. I would have told personally I would have said, yo, let's push the date up. You know what I'm saying? Let's push it another 2 weeks. Let's give UFC, their shine that day. They're making history that day, and we're going to make history, but we'll push it up 2 weeks. But Canelo's a guy that he got too much pride. Obviously you see him going back and forth with Turkey and stuff. He feel like he's the money man. He think he does that. He got his, he got, like in Spanish, Henry, they say guia, like he's that guy, so he's like, fuck the UFC, fuck Turkey, it's my event, my day. Let's see what we're gonna. You know what I'm saying? But with me, on the other hand, I would have pushed it up. Personally, I would have pushed it up 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Just to give you guys that shot. Especially you guys caught the day first. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he had the day. Y'all already had that fucking whole card set up. Y'all had the venue, everything. So it's out of respect, man.
It sounds like you on the business side as well. You got your
Yeah.
mind on point. You already know business wise, yeah, we should probably we want to eat. We want the whole cake. We want the whole bag and not just have to split it on that
Yeah, and then
day.
you can't go against a guy that's billionaire, trillionaire, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy has major money and you going up against him and then you firing him. So that guy now is gonna do the most to try to fucking build up that event to be the most craziest event, you know what I'm saying, that day. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, man, we just gotta focus on September 14th on my event, and I just gotta come out victorious. You know what I'm saying? So when I do win, times like this, I could push that as a UFC event. You know what I'm saying? Just giving the UFC, their respect and everything. Especially if y'all guys had a day first, I'll give y'all that day. And it's like, all right, we push it up 2 weeks.
All right. Well, Edgar, I'm excited. And this is why they make TVs with the PIPs now, picture in picture, because I'm gonna have a UFC going on right there side by side with your fight, September 14th from
Appreciate
the
it, brother. Thank
T-Mobile
you, man.
Arena against Canelo Alvarez. We're excited for you, my man, and we can't wait to watch it.
You're gonna be surprised, right? There are gonna be people in the boxing arena, probably with a phone at the pay-per-view, UFC, and the T-Mobile,
Facts.
and then here you're gonna have guys with the fucking, you know what I'm saying, watching the UFC fight with the pay-per-view on their phone, watching a boxing fight. So, God
Right.
willing, man, you know what I'm saying. We do amazing numbers on both ends.
My man, no, for sure. Good luck to you. September 14th, again, from the
Yes, sir.
T-Mobile Arena with Canelo Alvarez. We can't wait to watch it. We are going to be through it, and we're going to be watching, my man. All right, good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, best of luck. I could go out there, man. Take risks. It's your day, and that's all I gotta say, man. Both me and Kamaru have been there before. We've been the
Yeah.
underdog. We both won world titles from freaking legends, man. So anything's possible, dude. The only thing I can say, man, is go out there, fight, take risks, dude. Like, despite the outcome, you gotta go out there and just fight, dude. And then let the rest take its course. Stay disciplined according to the game plan, dude. And I think there's one thing that if I could give you 2 cents, man, with Munguia. Munguia was fighting so well in the beginning of the fight, the first 2 rounds, and then he went back to the Mexican style, and then that's where he
Yeah.
lost it. So I think the biggest thing that I could say, bro, as a competitor, as a fighter, is stay disciplined throughout the 12 rounds.
That's what my coach says that to me every day in the gym. Be great, but we got to stay disciplined, and that the game plan that we got to stay on that course. Do not, you know what I'm saying? Do not get caught up like what you said in the fight. Obviously there's gonna be certain points where I'm gonna have to sit down and bite down on my mouthpiece and give him give him some good shots so he could respect me and push him back. But just to stay disciplined. I don't fall for no traps that he's gonna try to set.
Right, right. All right, my man. Good luck to you, and we'll be watching.
I appreciate it, man.
Letter Edgar, salute.
All right, bro. Thank you.
All right, Henry, we just had WBA Super Middleweight #1 contender Edgar Berlanga, who was taking on Canelo Alvarez September 14th from the T-Mobile Arena. Henry, fantastic interview. It's crazy when I feel like now when we get into these discussions with these sportsmen to where it's almost like age kind of goes out the window now. It's crazy to think that he's only 27. 27.
Yeah.
He truly believes that he's on the verge of shocking the world and becoming that humongous superstar that he's always envisioned if he goes out there September 14th and beats Canelo Alvarez. I like his confidence because this is the exact confidence that you have to have when you step into moments like this that seem larger than life. So I like it, Henry.
Yeah, no, I think too, man. Even coming from the interview from him, with him and Canelo. Now that we interviewed both of them, it's like two guys from two different spectrums. Obviously Canelo comes from a very traditional, humble family where, what Edgar came from, the concrete jungle of New York, and his dad being in prison, him trying to be a kid, trying to play in the water balloons, trying to have ice cream, but he couldn't because his dad was like, "Get your ass to the gym." It's two different perspectives where Canelo found it and where Edgar was like, "Hey man, you love boxing. You're so good at it that you're staying here, and this is your meal ticket." So I think getting Edgar Berlanga's perspective on his life story, dude, just maybe that much more of a fan, dude. And I think he is confident. He is young. I mean, he's training at altitude in Colorado. I mean, he wants it. I mean, but the question is will he? The biggest thing is why I told him, can you stay disciplined for 12 rounds? Can you pap him up with that jab for 12 rounds? I mean, do you have that discipline? Have Munguía showed in the first couple rounds, and then he exited out the game plan. He went back to his Mexican style, and that shit ended up hurting him. I wish Edgar luck. I know it's a tough task, but if he was to do it, Kamaru, this could become, if not, maybe next, or if not even the biggest upset possibly in boxing history.
Come on. Biggest upset in boxing history?
Top three at least. You would have to. You'd have
Okay,
to.
you could.
Kamaru, he's Buster Douglas was like number
Buster
maybe three or
Douglas,
four.
Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson.
That's one.
Lennox Lewis, Hasim Rahman.
Okay, that's two.
There's been
Okay,
even
well, name the
you could even
third.
say Muhammad Ali and George Foreman.
Okay, but this is the new era that you're going.
I'm just saying. Okay, you're talking.
If Edgar beats him, if Edgar beats
It's a
him,
big one. It's a big one.
it's one of the biggest
It's one
upsets
of.
in boxing.
Okay, I can give you
100%.
that. I can give you that. I guess I'm just one of those. I like to be correct
You like to play
and not.
devil's advocate,
No,
you
it's
know.
not. No, it's not.
I
I
see
don't
you
like
going
to
with that
be.
Harvard shirt,
I
that
don't.
Harvard hat.
Hey, got a rep. You know, I'm a Harvard Business School grad. Hey.
Mr. 4.0.
Took a program there. Hey, I don't know about all that, but you know. But I like where his head is at, and I'm anxious to see how he's able to channel all that. I'm anxious to see because he did mention in the interview because we all know, Henry, when you get in there with someone that is already operating and functioning at such a high level, it challenges you to where you have to bring out the best in yourself. That is something that you may not know that you kind of possess. You may not know that. And then you have to bring yourself to that level and shock yourself like, wow, look how good I actually am when I get to go in here against someone who forces me to raise my IQ, to raise my skills and come up to the best possible level. So I'm anxious to see how he's able to control those emotions, control the media circus that he's dealing with now, and be able to go in there and potentially shock the world. And like we mentioned, Andy, if he's able to do that, everything opens up for him. It sounds like the Caleb Plant fight. If that fight does materialize, it sounds like that's going to be some bad blood in that fight. That's going to be a good fight. Sounds like Munguía would be a good fight. It sounds like Benavidez would be a great fight as well. I think it's just, if that does happen, obviously you've got potentially Bivol, you've got a bit of BF, you've got all these guys now that potentially open up for a guy like that. So I'm anxious to see how this goes, and I'm excited for him. And of course, we're excited to just see it because Canelo Alvarez is a true champion. He's a legend, and pound for pound, one of the best out there. So I'm excited. September 14th. I'm gonna be tuned in, Henry. You think you'll be tuned in? I don't know.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
might be someplace parts of the world taking a nap. You might not. We might not know from you. I don't know. Nowadays,
Who knows? But I got a couple movie gigs, so you're right, dude. I may not even watch either one of them, but I'll be but I'll get the news. Kush, I'll get it.
All right, my man. Well, that was a fantastic interview with my man Edgar Berlanga. We are going to be keeping our eyes on that fight, as also the UFC 306 live from that's also in Las Vegas, from brought to you by Riyadh Season from the Sphere. So it's the first time they're going to be doing an event at the Sphere, and I can't wait to see that either. So I guess this is why they create TVs now with the PIP, picture in picture, Henry, if you didn't know what that meant. So you can watch two things at one time. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. As you know, there's fantastic fights on that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. But just real quick, man, before we end here, Kamaru, what are the biggest differences that you probably see from a fight like the interviews now that we interviewed a little bit of Canelo and a little bit of Edgar, besides their story, I feel like Canelo's experience and his composure is different, where Edgar is a little more hungry, a little more dream driven. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those two synergies are kind of like it's different, dude. So I think at the end of the day, it's gonna come back to who's going to stick to the game plan and who's going to do it better.
Yeah,
At the beginning, I really didn't give Edgar that much of a shot, and I still have Canelo as favorite. But if he's able to stay disciplined with those 12 rounds as the bigger guy, he can make it very problematic for a guy like Canelo Alvarez.
no, I mean that's what experience is. Experience is having done something before, so now you know what to expect, and you know how to go through that event, and that's why Canelo's is a little bit more calm, but at the same time, he is still fired up because he still loves what he does. He still loves fighting, and so that's I see that, and Edgar is just passionate about it because he's still young and hasn't been through that motion, or that experience of doing these big fights over and over and over and over like Canelo has. So it's just, it's one of those things. This is how you get the experience. You have to go in there and be the man. Of course, Canelo's the favorite because we've seen him do it time and time and time again in these major fights, be able to go out there and defend and defend and defend. So I like Edgar's energy. It does show that he's taking this serious. And not only is he taking it serious, one thing that it also shows is the fact that we've seen guys go in there with Canelo and just kind of, wow, I'm fighting Canelo Alvarez, to where Canelo does get in there and start to break them down. In the Munguía fight, as you just mentioned, he started off great, but then it gets to you over times. I'm really in here with Canelo. I'm not doing so bad. Next thing you know, you start to relax a little bit, and Canelo uses that experience and that savviness to eventually take over the fight. And so with him, I like the fact that he's like, we don't respect big homies from where I'm from, which, I mean, I would like you to respect the big homie where you're from, but at the same time, when you step in there September 14th, you shouldn't have that respect. Obviously, the respect comes after the bout's done, after your hand is raised. So I like what I'm hearing from him. September 14th, I can't wait to watch that fight.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's gonna be a good one.
What about you? What is that? What do you see the difference in both of them?
Yeah, no, I think it was a little bit of that. It's just like the relaxation of Canelo. He's almost like, I'm gonna get the job done, and with this guy, it's like it's the unknown, but there is a hope in there. Like he truly believes that this dream could be manifested through since birth. Through, he mentioned his dad, the destiny. He mentions faith quite a bit. Um, that's how I see it. It's almost like Canelo's just the old dog, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's past that stage where this guy is in that stage. He's on the verge of potentially becoming, becoming the number one guy in the world, and then collecting three belts, unifying it. So it's cool, man. It's cool, but at the end of the day, dude, it's anything can happen in the sport of boxing. And I can tell you one thing about Edgar Berlanga. With 16 consecutive knockouts, if he catches Canelo right, he'll put him out, dude.
100%. I believe he could punch as well, and this is why this fight is intriguing. And of course, we've got the rivalry, the Mexico versus Puerto Rico. That's always been a good recipe for a great fight, big fight, because you get the Puerto Ricans who love boxing, and then you get the Mexicans who also love boxing. So I can't wait to watch this September 14th live at the T-Mobile Arena. Also September 14th, UFC 306 live from the Sphere in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be a fantastic day on Mexican Independence Day, Henry. Henry, I'm going to be watching both. Hopefully you will be too. But as always, I feel like my shirt's been covering these. Let me slide this down a little bit so you see it. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
You see how you got scared there and you ain't put yours up? Because mine came off the shirt. See, you hiding yours in the shirt, so it doesn't even count. But, Henry, we are out.